What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I've got some clips for you guys today, and I've got a news article coming in. And once again, you know, it's kind of slow on the political news stuff. All we have pretty much is campaign garbage going on. So we're going to talk about the campaign, folks, and the absolute derangement of some of these leftists. The delusional world that they live in is mind-blowing to watch some of these people speak about what they're talking about. Yeah, it's just crazy. Check this out. James Carville declares he's certain Harris beats Trump despite worries from sweaty Democratic operatives who love to run to the press. Huh? What do you mean love to run to the press and say, oh, well, we think Kamala Harris is losing? Yeah, because look, James, like, he's one of these delusional world Democratic operatives, I guess you could say. He's a Democrat strategist, for crying out loud. Okay, I got excoriated for calling Democrats, right? For some reason. Like, it's the Democratic Party. I understand that. And I know I say it wrong sometimes. I say the Democrat Party. My bad on that. So, hey, we're going to try to get it right around here, but so I'm not sure what world James Carville is living in, but when you see clips like this,
have made it clear that you believe this is a binary choice between you and Donald Trump. Those are the candidates on the ballot.
There's only
of course,
two choices.
Yes. And I know that Joe Biden is not on the ballot. I understand that. But the reason that you are at the top of the ticket is because he dropped out of this race. And so I want to ask you, and it was largely because of that debate performance back in June. You defended him in the days before and in the days after as you were campaigning for another 4 years for President Biden. Can you say that you were honest with the American people about what you saw in those moments with President Biden as you were with him again and again, repeatedly in that time?
Of course. Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely.
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
What do you think?
I am running for president of the United States. Joe Biden is not. And my presidency will be about bringing a new generation of leadership to America that is focused on the work that we need to do to invest in the ambitions and aspirations of the American people.
Okay, so when she gives answers like that, trying to cover up for Joe Biden, they're still trying to say, Joe Biden's fine, y'all. He should still be running for president, as a matter of fact. Like, we covered that article yesterday where the guy's questioning if Kamala Harris was the right choice. Like, I just don't understand these people. Like, of course that's why y'all took him out of the game. Unfairly, to be honest with you, because, yeah, you didn't give the voters a decision. That's what really pisses me off about this whole situation. You guys put Joe Biden up on the mantle at the top of the freaking ticket to be the guy to beat Donald Trump, right? And once again, Joe Biden was getting out there saying, well, I beat Trump once, I can do it again. Yeah, but you can't speak anymore, buddy. Everybody can see you're failing. It wasn't just a bad debate. I just really don't understand how Kamala Harris can try to come off and try to make this work as if people are going to buy into this. She just should have said yes. Joe Biden, he's competent, he's smart. We kept him there because he's wise. Like, tell us something like that. Instead of trying to make us believe that Joe Biden is a dynamo in the background. That's what y'all did for 4 years, right? Like, in 2020, Joe Biden seemed to do pretty good, right? Like, at that debate, sure, you could tell he's getting older, but he's passable at least, right? Some people that are kind of hip to the game, I guess you could say, kind of saw the writing on the wall with Joe Biden, like, holy crap, he's declining fast. And sure enough, he is. Compare his 2020 debate with his 2024 debate, and it's stark. It's a very stark difference. But to get out there and just try to lie to everybody, this is why your campaign is failing. You can't answer questions. And then to use that old same rhetoric of, oh, we need to do what we need to do to work on the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. What does that even mean? How does the government work on the dreams and the aspirations of the economy. Like, what? What are you trying to say here? But it's not only that. She goes on to stumble even further.
It's a judgment question. That's why I ask. Can the American people trust you in these moments, even when it's maybe uncomfortable for Americans to level with Americans in that way? So that's why I ask. And it sounds like what you're saying is you feel like you never saw anything like that from President Biden.
I have worked with Joe Biden, hours and hours and hours over these 4 years, whether it be in the Situation Room or the Oval Office. Joe Biden is the one who was able to bring NATO together during a crisis where, for the first time in 70 years, Europe saw and has seen war. Joe Biden has done the work that has been about being a leader on what we have done to fix so much of what has been broken in terms of the economy because of Donald Trump's mismanagement. I speak with not only sincerity, but with a real firsthand account of watching him do this work. I have no reluctance in saying that. No, of course I don't.
Madam Vice President, thank you for your time.
Okay, wow. So she's now doubling down on Joe Biden's just fine, y'all. He brought NATO together. What are you talking about? Brought NATO together? We're not in a war with anybody. I don't understand what these people are trying to say, what she is trying to say, ever. Do you guys understand what she is trying to say? Or do you think she is manipulating you? And if you do think she's manipulating you, do me a favor and smash that like button for me, subscribe to this channel, and share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. I need to get out of this box, y'all, and I need y'all to help me. So please try to remember to smash that like button for me. It really, really would help me out a whole hell of a lot. But then to go on and try to put off the economy, them dropping the ball on the economy, right? Dropping the ball with the supply chain crisis that we were going through. Dropped the ball completely, allowed inflation to rise up to 9%, and then you want to try to blame it on Donald Trump after almost 4 years of you guys being in office? I'm sorry. Look, this is why your campaign is failing, Kamala Harris, because you can't speak, for one. You can't give substantive, clear and concise answers to anything. You always want to talk about the hopes and the dreams and the aspirations of people. Well, who cares about that? We want to know how you're going to conduct foreign policy. What are you going to do about the border crisis? How are you going to bring back the economy? And first of all, why haven't you done these things? Right? You're proving yourself to be incompetent. Once again, I say it all the time. The Biden administration has been the most incompetent administration in my lifetime, and I can't believe that she's now trying to get out there and tell us that it's Donald Trump's fault, even though all of this didn't start until almost a year after they came into office and declined rapidly. And we haven't recovered yet. We're not even close to recovering. Sure, you might want to give a big win for them that inflation came down. So what? Is it because of stuff they did? No, I don't think so. Don't think it is. But I mean, I could be wrong about that. I'm just a guy complaining on the internet, for crying out loud. Check this out, y'all. Democratic strategist James Carville declared on Wednesday that he's certain Vice President Kamala Harris will defeat former President Donald Trump in the election. Lovely. I wonder why and how he is so certain about this, because you look at the polls, you look at the prediction markets, and it's not looking good, considering the historic Democratic bias, the Democratic bias of the polls. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. Yeah, I saw this other article. As a matter of fact, I'll throw the headline up. We're not going to read the article, but check this out right quick. From the New York Post, early vote totals indicate Trump is going to be president on Election Day, veteran political journalist says. Now, what he's going through, he's analyzing all of the early voting, right? And you can't see who they're voting for, but you can see Republicans voting and Democrats voting. And Republicans are smoking the Democrats right now. Like he was talking about, it's insane in Nevada. Republicans, are currently up by like 6,000 votes in Nevada right now. So that's very good news, folks. Very, very good news indeed. In a column for the New York Times, Carville called out sweat Democratic operatives running to the press with their concerns about dead-even polls and Harris's campaign. Carville said he's putting all his chips behind Harris. Yeah, you go ahead and do that, buddy. But you know what? Those Democratic operatives, they have genuine concerns because maybe these people aren't as delusional as you are and they can see the writing on the wall. They can see all these interviews that Kamala Harris is doing, and every single time she does one of these interviews, her poll numbers go down. The betting odds go down for her. She's losing, folks. She can't answer a question. The only people that thinks that she's making any sort of substantive policy positions known to everybody is maybe somebody with an IQ lower than 80, for crying out loud, because what she is saying makes absolutely no sense. She's pattering for time. She's filibustering. She's adding all these words and saying nothing of substance at all. Nothing at all. It's crazy, y'all. Crazy, crazy. America, it will be okay, Carville wrote, giving 3 reasons why he believes Harris will win. Carville wrote, there's a palpable anxiety wailing on the winds of American life right now. More than in any other election in my lifetime, I've been consistently asked by people of all stripes and creeds, can Kamala Harris win this thing? Are we going to be okay? This sentiment is heard all over from sweaty Democratic operatives who all too often love to run to the press with their woes. While I am not one to take part in the political prediction industry, recently ballooned by mysterious crypto investments gambling on a Donald Trump victory, today I am pulling my stool up to the political poker table to throw my chips all in. America, it will all be okay. Miss Harris will be elected the next president of the United States. Of this, I am certain. I wonder how he could be so certain about that. Shadow campaign, folks. Shadow campaign. We can't forget about the shadow campaign. The Democratic strategist's reasons for this vote of confidence include the fact that Trump is a repeat electoral loser. Harris has outpaced him in fundraising and simply a feeling Carville has. So that's your 3 reasons, buddy? None of this is scientific whatsoever. A feeling. He's got a feeling. Oh, and Kamala Harris has raised $1 billion. Well, you know what? You would figure that if she's raised so much money, that would translate into the polling. You would think, right? Like normally, like logic would dictate that should translate into the polling, but it's not. She's outraised Donald Trump by a lot, almost 4 times. It's like 3.75 times more money. I think Donald Trump's raised a little bit over $300 million, and she's raised almost $1 billion. That's insanity, folks. That is outright way too much money in a very, very short period of time. I'm not sure how they're pulling this off. However, we do have investigations going on right now by the House, as a matter of fact, into Act Blue, because there's a lot of funny business going on. Yeah, it's crazy, 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 y'all. I almost covered that story the other day, but it really didn't give any substance. It was just Brian Steele talking about it, saying it's crazy. He's seen thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of donations by single individuals, totaling up to hundreds of thousands of dollars for people that make like $40,000 and $50,000 a year, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right? We covered a video a little while back. As a matter of fact, OMG, O'Keefe Media Group, James O'Keefe investigations, finding some of these Act Blue donations where people have donated 3 and 4 times a day. And he went to their house and asked them, and they said, no, we did not donate. So they're funneling money, like they're laundering money through Act Blue is what it looks like. And now we have a House investigation going on, and the FBI knew nothing about this. Nothing about this. That's crazy to me. But, you know, talking about, let's see, he's been a repeat electoral loser. Yeah, let's dip into that right quick, because he's lost once and won once. Carville noted that Trump has more electoral losses and wins under him since he skyrocketed to the top of the Republican Party. What do you mean, more wins and losses? More losses and wins. Maybe they meant to say more losses than wins. But hang on, once again, he's only ran twice. He won once and lost once. And we all know why he lost that second time. Yeah, that's because they cheated to win. They had to go from state to state to state, changing the rules so they could get their hordes of Democrat activists to go door to door to door to door to get Democrats to vote. That's right. Democratic operatives went to Democratic households and pressured these people to vote by mail. That happened. That's documented fact. Can't be refuted. And then they want to say they won fairly? It was the most fair election ever? Yeah, come on. That's underhanded as hell. And they had to change the laws to make that legal. That's what really gets me. They changed the law to make that legal. Didn't notify the other side. Right? Why would you? I mean, it's just wrong to do that. Right? But if you're trying to save the country, and that's just gets me every single time, y'all. Mind-blowing. The whole Republican Party has been on a losing streak since Mr. Trump took it over. See 2018, the largest House landslide for Democrats in a midterm election since Watergate. See 2020, he was decisively bucked from the White House by Joe Biden. We already discussed that. See 2022, an embarrassment of a midterm for Republicans off the heels of Dobbs, Carville wrote. Now, hang on, hold the press on that one right quick. In 2022, let's see, we took back the House. Now we lost the Senate. Sure. But you know what? We got a lot of Republicans in state offices in 2022. And just because there was a predicted red wave. And we didn't get that red wave. It was just a slight red wave. We did better than Democrats, though. So using that as a metric for a loss, just because we didn't do as good as expected, doesn't mean we didn't do good. You see what I'm getting at here? These people are delusional. Outright delusional. On the money front, fundraising simply matters. I agree, Carville declared. And Harris is processing cheddar like a Wisconsin cheese factory, noting she's raised more than $1 billion during her short campaign. Carville was one of the earliest Democrats to question President Joe Biden's chances at winning the election before Biden ultimately dropped his re-election bid. Carville's final reason boils down to just emotion and his refusal to believe Trump can appeal to a majority of the country. Well, you know what? When we have Trump over here talking about securing our southern border, ending the foreign wars, and bringing back jobs, making the economy strong again, and you got RFK Jr. joining him, talking about making America healthy again. They're poisoning our foods. They're poisoning our drinks. That we're drinking and eating poison on a daily basis, and they want it to stop. When you have people like Tulsi Gabbard coming in, a Democrat, was a Democrat superstar, backed Bernie Sanders in 2020, as a matter of fact. Then you get Elon Musk coming in. Which, that's going to be our next video, by the way. Elon Musk coming in. A lifelong Democrat. You got all these Democrats joining with Trump. Now, you might say, well, there's a bunch of Republicans joining with Kamala Harris. Yeah, they're all neocons. That's where the bifurcation is. Okay, so you've got all these based Democrats. People that, you know, they just see life for what it is. They see the country for what it is. They see reality, how it actually shows up to everybody else. Then you got the neocons over here, and Kamala Harris is proud to campaign with neocons. She's on the campaign trail with Liz Cheney right now. Liz Cheney was Hitler before Trump was. So how does that make any sense at all? Like, do you really want to be campaigning with the party of war? That tells you almost everything you need to know about this election and who to vote for. If you like war, if you like foreign intervention, sending more money to Ukraine than to hurricane victims in our own country, then vote for Kamala Harris. Go right ahead. If you think that trans people should have more rights than everybody else, go right ahead and vote for Kamala Harris, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to give certain groups more rights. They want to give black people more money. They want to give these people forgivable loans, for crying out loud, and not give them to anybody else. That's racist. As a matter of fact, that's also against the law. You can't do that. Yeah, we banned discrimination on the basis of race in 1965, and the Democrats are trying to bring it back out of the woodworks. But they're covering it up, right? As but they're just disenfranchised people. They've been oppressed. I'm sorry, you're not going to sell that to most people that can see reality for what it is. You've got a black Indian woman running for president, and she is currently the vice president. Do you really think that black people are still oppressed? Right? That some of the richest people in the country are of African descent, I should say. They're brown-skinned people. Right? But the people over in the Republican Party, they look at skin color and say, doesn't matter at all. But the Democrats say it does. It's everything. Your skin tone defines who you are. If you think that way, then vote for Kamala Harris. But if you think that all men and women are created equal, and not equal to each other, but you know what I mean, that everybody's created equally and nobody should get more rights than anybody else. Everybody should get the same opportunities as everybody else. You shouldn't give certain folks opportunities because of past discrimination, right? Like, present and future discrimination is not the remedy for past discrimination. It's only discrimination at that point, right? Like racism, that's all it is. If you're trying to uplift a certain group, just give everybody the same opportunities. It just doesn't make any sense to me, these people. Carville has argued Trump will follow through on talks of political retribution by jailing opponents. There you go. These people have been reduced to making up lies about the other side to try to convince the American people to vote for them. That's what they've been reduced to, is just making up blatant lies. Talk about jailing his opponents. When has Trump ever said he was going to jail his opponents? Never. As a matter of fact. Now, if you're talking about what he said the other day about the enemy from within, we use the context, right? The context is very, very important when it comes to Trump. Like, context is probably more important to Trump than breathing oxygen is to Trump, to be honest with you, because he says a lot of things that can be taken out of context and used against him. And this is what they do. And then they get mad when we do it to them. It's so funny to watch. It's just hilarious. But Trump was talking about, in reference to Joe Biden saying there was going to be political violence on election day. And he's like, well, it's not going to come from us. It's going to come from these violent extreme leftists, the enemy from within. And sure, if they start a riot, yeah, sick the National Guard on them if we've got to. Bring the military in if need be. If necessary. Jailing his political opponents, unless his political opponents are out there starting riots and involved in a riot, then no, that's a blatant lie. But, you know, if Adam Schiff gets out there and starts rioting and it's necessary for the National Guard to come in to quell that riot, then sure, go right ahead. You're telling the truth now. That seems like a very far-fetched situation, don't it? If the Cheneys and AOC get that the Constitution and our democracy are on the ballot, every true conservative and every true progressive should get it too, he wrote. Yes, but it's not coming. The threat isn't coming from Trump, I can assure you of that, Carville. It's coming from your own party. These people are insane. They have lost the plot on this. They are not the defenders of democracy, even though they say they are. They are the ones that go after people like me and like you on social media and trying to silence the other side. They are the ones that have weaponized the Department of Justice to go after their political opponents, not us. They are the ones that are getting retribution on Donald Trump for his 4 years in office. They are the ones who sue everybody into oblivion if you don't toe the line for them. They are the ones that will sue candidates of their own freaking party in the primary, in the general, to keep these people off the ballot, to make less democracy because they want their candidate, the establishment wants their candidate, and they will use every single resource available to them to do so, to make less democracy for you, to silence voices on social media, to weaponize the federal government against its own citizens, for crying out loud. They have lost the plot. They are not the defenders of democracy and law and order, folks. Not anymore. A vast majority of Americans are rational, reasonable people of goodwill. I refuse to believe that the same country that has time and again overcome its mistakes to bend its future toward justice will make the same mistake twice. You gotta love that. That is right, James. I totally agree with him on that. However, we're not totally in agreement in who can bring about that change, who can bring about that justice. It's not going to be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a puppet of the deep state, a puppet of the political establishment in this country. Her campaigning with Liz Cheney proves that outright. You want to be part of the establishment. You want to be part of this group of people that wants to just maintain Washington, D.C., spending in a deficit, funding foreign wars, not caring about the American citizen, open borders, all of that good garbage. Yeah, that's what they want. If that's what you want, then go right ahead and vote for Kamala Harris. It's insanity to me. Just outright crazy. I don't understand how these people can try to make the argument that Harris is going to be good for the country. How the political establishment is good for the American people when they've shown time and time and time and time again they don't care about you, they don't care about me, they vote in their own interests to keep whatever interests they have going strong and steady in Washington, D.C. to the detriment of you. And then they sick the IRS on you if you get out of line. Not like Elon Musk is being sued into oblivion. He's being investigated into oblivion, which is my next video, by the way, so check that out. But it's just getting outright crazy what they're doing to the American people. I've never seen the federal government weaponized so strongly against the American people. And I've never seen such pushback from the American people, such support behind Donald Trump. It's great. I'm loving it. You go, I don't see any Kamala Harris signs anywhere where I live. None whatsoever. Anywhere. And I go all over the place for work. We travel all over this area. And we go out of town too. I'd never seen a Kamala Harris sign anywhere. Never. I don't understand how people can support them. I understand Trump derangement syndrome, and James Carville has Trump derangement syndrome, and they can't see reality for what it is. That's why they're getting behind Kamala Harris. If they could come back to reality, wake up and see what's actually going on, and stop believing the manipulations of the corporate press, then they could actually see who is good for the country, who is going to make America great again, who is going to bring back jobs, who is going to boost our economy, who's going to close our southern border and not allow these criminals to just flow in like the Biden-Harris administration has been doing since day one, folks. Since day one. Overturned 90 executive orders. That's insane. That is insane. Just overturned Trump policy after Trump policy and allowed for up to 11 to 12 million criminal aliens to come into this country, adding to the already 10 to 12 that were already here. That's nuts. And then they want to bring in more people. It's not just the southern border. They're flying these people in from Haiti, from all over the world, as a matter of fact. And we've seen this. We've seen the evidence. We've read the stories. We've read all the news articles. We know what's going on. How these people can try to maintain this system the way it's going, I don't see how they can maintain this system. And once people understand what they're doing, like they want to call me a liar for some reason. I just read the news and then give my opinion. Right? If you guys got out there and read the news, some of these people that buy into the corporate press narrative, these people they're lying to, they manipulate you, they don't tell you all of the facts, as proven with Donald Trump. Debunking all the corporate press lies about Donald Trump. They constantly lie about him. But I just don't get it, y'all. No. I think I've gone long enough on this one. So y'all do me that big favor and smash that like button for me, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with anybody and everybody. It really helps, y'all. I really need to get out of this box. I'm tired of all these damn hardly getting any views. So y'all smash that like button for me, please, if you don't mind. And I think that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.